Setting your own bar. So I think a big reason of why I've been able to stay in the music industry and continue to make a living off of it for 20 years is not only my ability to adapt, but it's my ability to set my own bar. What does that mean? I think a lot of people, when they do work, especially for clients, they kind of see what the client expects. Maybe this client would accept a 7-level mix, and so I'm just gonna deliver right at a 7. That way I get exactly what they paid me for it. Or this is the kind of video people are looking for, and they'll be happy if I do X, Y, and Z. So instead of doing something that I feel is truly artistic and pushing myself, they're only giving me X amount of money, so I'm just gonna do essentially the bare minimum. That's really what we're talking about. I think a lot of people just do the bare minimum. It's like, what's the least amount I can do to skate by and get this money and move on to the next client, which I think is a terrible idea. I've never done that, whether it be production, mixing, music videos, literally anything I've done, consulting or whatever. I've never just gone to what the client expects and said, all right, you were expecting a 6 or a 7 on the scale of 10. Let me just give you exactly that. No matter what, I've always given my best effort. And I think that's honestly rare in this industry. I think the average person is just average. And that's not to say anything about anybody, but not only do they not have taste, but they don't have a work ethic, they don't have a grind about themselves, and they really don't hold themselves to any kind of standard. And they don't really expect much out of themselves, therefore they don't expect much out of others. And they're not gonna really do a great job. So I think what we see is a lot of mediocre work out there. Mediocre music, mediocre songs, mediocre videos. That's not to say all of it's bad, there's a lot of great stuff out there. But I think a lot of people aren't holding themselves accountable to deliver something amazing every time. From the beginning of when I started doing music, period, like when I started doing mixtapes, I always wanted to create the best product. Now, did I know anything? Absolutely not. I knew nothing. And so I had to learn on my feet. You know, it went from, I tell the story all the time, it went from me going in CD stores every day after school and not having something as simple as having writing on the CD. And the CD store owner like Tobago at DBS Sounds would be like, why don't you have writing on your CD? And I would say, I don't know. I didn't think about it. He's like, well, if these CDs get mixed up with other CDs, how would I know what's yours? And I'm like, yeah, I should probably write on it. So then I started writing on it. Then I take it to another CD store, and the CD store owner was like, why don't you have it printed on? Why isn't it printed on? I'm like, oh, that would look more professional. And so literally, I just learned on my feet through failing. And I think I've never been afraid to fail, and I think a lot of people are afraid to fail. That's another subject. But I have no problem with learning on my feet, doing something, and then iterating and figuring out how to make it better, how to make it better, how to make it better. I think a lot of times, a client is expecting a 7, and I'm delivering way above that every time. I think a big thing to do is to underpromise and overdeliver. So if they're looking for something right here, maybe you say, I can do that, and then you come and knock their socks off with a great mix or an amazing video. And they're like, wow, I didn't expect that. And it's because my name is on it. My name is on it. It's part of your brand. And so it's like, if you continuously do that, that's gonna compound. And it's not just gonna be, oh, I shot a couple videos and I made a couple $100 here, there, a couple $100 there, thousands, whatever it is. The quality of work that you put into it is gonna speak volumes, and it's gonna travel longer. So I think a lot of times people just go for this people have low expectations. Oh, let me just go right there to their bar, as opposed to not realizing if they surpass that bar time and time again, they're gonna continue to build up their brand, and people are gonna come to them because they know, hey, this person does quality work. And now you got repeat clients, you got clients turning other clients onto you. People are just seeing your videos and they're like, wow, I actually want to get that person to do my video, or I heard this song and I want this person to do my mix or my beat, whatever it is. And they know that you're gonna do quality work. One of the reasons why I've been able to stay in this business for 20 years is because people know I stand behind quality. Everything I do is quality, whether it be production, mixing, videos, whatever it is. They know I'm always gonna give my best effort. They know I may not be perfect, nobody's perfect, but they always know I'm gonna give 110%. I'm always gonna try my best. I'm always gonna try to come with something fresh, something different. You know, if it's audio, I'm trying to come with something maybe you haven't heard before. If it's a video, just trying to do something in a different way. And it's through pushing yourself that you find breakthroughs with yourself. And then you realize, oh, I'm capable of so much more than I thought I was. But if you never press yourself to do something greater than what the client expects, you're never gonna do anything great. And then you're constantly gonna be in the circle of mediocrity. And then you're gonna be down on the industry and say, oh man, people only expect crap work, and so that's what I'm gonna turn in. And then nobody's booking you and you're unbooked, and you're seeing people who are pushing themselves and going above and beyond. Really, that's the phrase, above and beyond. It's not just going to what that person's standard is going above and beyond. I heard Ron Fair, the great producer, one time, he said something to the effect of, the client's expectation, I've passed on exit 5, I'm on exit 9 for myself now. And I felt that so much because I'm going for greatness. I'm not going for whatever the level of standard of is at that time. It's kind of another reason why I've always looked at the greats as my peers. I never specifically looked at the people around me as my peers. I always looked at, when I wanted to do production, I always said Organized Noise is my peers. Pimp C is my peers, 3 6 Mafia, Trevor Horn, like all these people, I said, these are my peers. And I worked so hard that now Organized Noise actually are my peers now. Not saying I'm on their level, but I actually get to be in a room with them and work with them and have mutual respect because I saw that for myself. I didn't just say, oh, people are just clicking in this or just doing that, nothing wrong with it. But just people are doing this, so let me just do that. I always like push myself and was working with live instrumentation and trying to figure out how to make our own samples and just pushing just like I saw them do. And eventually, if you keep pushing hard enough, maybe one day you will be on their level. So I'll say all that to say, set your own bar. Don't let somebody else's low expectations become the bar at which you set your product and the service that you deliver. Always push yourself for greatness and always try to go above and beyond that. You know, a lot of people will be like, why did you spend this much time on this mix or this video or whatever? They're only paying you X amount of money. Because it's not about the money. It's for legacy. Every time I do something, it's for legacy. And so when I walk in the streets and somebody says, yo, what's up, legend? I don't feel that way. Like, I don't feel like a legend, but I feel the appreciation of, I know I worked and busted my ass, so I appreciate that. Thank you. So y'all keep pushing out there, keep putting in that work, and great things will happen.